Hello, my name is Simon Ramirez, and I'm going to be presenting about the evolution of pandemics around the world, right? About around human history, more exactly. So this is the introduction. I will be talking about the evolution of pandemics, right? How they've been hitting the world, how have the human response to that pandemic, and all that stuff. What are the most deadliest pandemics? And especially to show my teammates, or well, my classmates actually, that the COVID-19. Well, I mean, I think they know, but I just feel this is a very important topic because I feel there are people out there who thinks the COVID is just the most dangerous and deadliest disease or virus that we can get, but I just want to talk about the evolution of pandemics, right? How the viruses and all that stuff have hit humans. So first of all, what's a pandemic? A pandemic is like a very contagious disease, infectious, right here, infectious disease would affect large regions or multiple continents, right? So it's like an epidemic, but instead of affecting a small right, a small amount of countries or a small amount of continents, a pandemic actually affects a pretty large regions or multiple continents, right? Like COVID, COVID have hit every single continent instead of exception from the Antarctica. I don't know how to say it, but instead of the Antarctica, the rest the COVID has came into every single part of the world. Now, the most deadliest pandemics in a line graph. I took this line graph from this website. I placed that on WebGraphy 2. I forgot the name of the website, but it's just visualcapitalist.com. And here we can see that there's a comparison about COVID-19 with other viruses, right? Other pandemics that have hit the world uh, recently and before, right? Many before, like far back in the time. So the most I'll be talking about how not every single one of these pandemics, but I will try to talk about at least three, and that will be the Black Death, the Spanish flu, and the smallpox, and I'll try to compare them in a conclusion, right? That it's at the end. So I'll be talking about the Black Death because I mean, showing you this graph, you can see the Black Death is the most deadliest pandemic the human have ever seen, right? Affecting 51% of the population of the world in that time, killing almost 200 million people. I explained I explained that here, but I'll talk about that later. So this pandemic, the Black Death, also known as bubonic plague, has been the most deadliest pandemic around the human history, as I already told you, right? This pandemic happened around one and about 13 1342, I guess, for 1345, more or less, right? Um, the only as oh wait, sorry. Making some investigation, I have found that the second most deadliest pandemic that the humans have known, it's called the plague of Justinian. That wait, as we can see here, it killed around 40 million people, affecting 19.1 of the population in the world, right? So, like, I mean, it's not even. Oh, wait, sorry, it's not even compared to the Black Death, right? It's not even compared. It's not even the half of the Black Death, right? But it is still like the most closest one than the rest of the than the rest. So It is called bubonic plague because the the people in Europe uh, call these little, how do you say this, buvas. I don't know how to say, but buvas. So that buvas were like ronchas. I don't know how to say it in English. I'm so sorry, teacher, but like these buvas were super painful and were like the size of a normal apple in the skin, right, in the skin and in the whole body. So if you get this disease, you the first symptoms will be fever and the buvas. Sorry. Here, as I talk about the virus of the Black Death is known as Yersinia pestis, uh, which affected especially animals, right? Affected the fleas, and these fleas were in the rats, and in that time the rats were pretty normal to see rats in the street. So when you walk in the streets and you saw a rat, I guess because I'm not from that time, but I guess it was pretty common to the fleas of that rat just jump into you and bite you. I guess that is how the this virus just dispersed around all the world. So the story of the virus, people say it started in China, right? Spread to the Mongolians and the rest of the rest of Europe by the ships and other means of transport to carry our trades. And okay, that's like everything I want to touch about the Black Death. Here I have more information that it lasts 16 to 23 days, after which the symptoms appear, and in about 3 or 5 days, the infected patient died. Right? Bubas here. The symptom of this disease were fever and the size of a common and hives. Hives. That's the word. Hives. The size of a common apple, known as bubas. Now, there were also variants. So one is the septicemic plague, which affects the blood, and the pneumonic plague, which affects the lungs. Right? Both of them were almost 100% fatal for each person, and well, the science were not so advanced in that time, so people just couldn't save, like, it was almost impossible. Sorry, we are here. I moved. This is a timeline. Sorry about that. This is a timeline of historical pandemics. The name, the time period, the time per human host. So there, here are some names. This was the first. The first one was the plague of Justinian. I don't know. The second one was the Black Plague. I guess the third one was the New World smallpox outbreak, and keep going, right? Now, the smallpox. The origin of the smallpox is unknown, right? Um, the feed the finding of a smallpox like rashes on Egyptian mummies. I mean, wait, like we have the timeline here. So we got New World smallpox outbreak. It was on 1520 onwards, right? So I guess we got like an idea of when the smallpox have appeared in humans, right? Almost like approximately 1520. I mean 1520. No, my bad. Oh wait, yeah, 1520. Sorry. Well, um, here making investigations. I got the has a sticks for at least 3,000 years, right? The the smallpox. People say people say that the smallpox appeared in China in the 4th century. So this virus affected a 12.1% of the population in the world and has killed 56 million during the time it existed. That it existed for very long time. Like, I mean, since almost three, no, not three, sorry, almost one, not even 100 years ago, but the smallpox is still with us, right? People can still be contagious by the smallpox. Now, the Spanish flu. I will just touch about where it started and how many people it killed, more or less, because I don't wanna touch like so many points of the topic. I don't want to extend too much. So this virus started in 1918, 1919. Right. We don't really know where it started. No. I mean, Spanish flu. We everyone has an idea, right? Spanish. So it lasts 20 years, right? 20 years. 20 years of killing people, right? Estimate that about 500 million people, or one third, 2.5% of the world's population, became infected with this virus. Now, 2.5% of the world's population, but not everyone died, right? There are people that still survived the Spanish flu. There are still people that um, saved saved their lives, right? And this virus lists at least 20 years in total, killing 45 million of persons during these 20 years. Now, in conclusion, just to end the video, after doing some research and reading several pages on these topics, I have came to the conclusion that the most deadliest pandemics started a few years ago, after a few years after Christ. After Christ, because I really believe this because of the technology, as I write here, the technology in with the plague of Justinian uh, was almost zero, right? Almost zero. The science was in that time. I think the people were just like thinking about about I don't know, architecture, or maybe about philosophy, right? But I don't think science, like studying disease. Many people thought it was the wrath of gods, punishing them because of their sins they have committed, right? But no, it was just a pretty deadly virus that, thank God, I mean, it's not around here anymore. And same with the Black Death. So the technology was not very advanced, so people couldn't know where it came from, or people couldn't know how to control it, right? But fortunately for us, like we live in 2021 right now, right at this time. So for this reason, the COVID-19 pandemic could have been much more deadly, and science could have taken longer to find a vaccine for this disease. I'm talking about this as a way of thinking from the past, right? So if I think in the past, if the COVID-19 would hit the world in the past, like 20 years ago or even more, this virus would be very more deadlier, and it will last for much time. So that's what I believe. Even science and even our bodies have evolved to these viruses, right? So we don't get like too affected from it. So yeah, this is the web graphy. I open the link, and well, thank you so much for your time, for watching this presentation and teacher. I'm recording this after all the problems I got. I really messed up everything. I really don't know what happened here. I hope you understand me, but this is messed up. I feel very bad, teacher. And yeah, that's my presentation, I guess. So thank you, and see you later. Bye.